Most people go through life waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right person to open a door for them. They believe that success is something that happens to them rather than something they create. But the truth is, the future doesn't arrive fully formed. It is built step by step by those who have the courage to shape it with their own hands. Every great achievement in history, every breakthrough, every revolution was created by someone who refused to wait and instead took action. When Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak started Apple, there was no guarantee of success. They weren't waiting for permission. They weren't following a pre-written script. They saw a future that didn't exist yet, a future where computers were personal, where design and technology merged seamlessly. And instead of hoping that someone else would make it happen, they got to work. They built their vision from scratch, piece by piece, learning, failing, and iterating as they went. The world didn't hand them a successful company. They built it brick by brick. This is the mindset that separates those who change the world from those who simply live in it. The people who shape the future are the ones who understand that no one is coming to save them. No one is going to give them an easy path. And no one is going to hand them a perfectly laid out plan. They know that if they want something, they have to create it. They have to start, even when they don't have all the answers. They have to move forward, even when the path isn't clear. They have to take risks, even when they might fail. Look at any major innovation, and you'll see the same pattern. Elon Musk didn't wait for someone else to revolutionize the car industry or push humanity toward Mars. He built Tesla and SpaceX not because the future was guaranteed, but because he was willing to take action before anyone else did. Jeff Bezos didn't wait for the internet to fully evolve before launching Amazon. He built the foundation, took the risks, and adapted along the way. The same goes for Oprah Winfrey, who didn't wait for a perfect opportunity but created her own path, despite countless obstacles. The difference between those who make history and those who watch from the sidelines is simple action. The people who build the future take risks when others hesitate. They invest time, effort, and belief into something before it becomes obvious to the world. They don't wait for ideal circumstances because they know the perfect moment will never come. They create momentum by moving forward, even when they don't have everything figured out. This is where most people get stuck. They assume they need more knowledge, more money, more connections, more certainty before they start. But the truth is, you will never have all the pieces in place. You will never feel completely ready. And that's okay. The key is to start anyway. Every great company, every life-changing invention, every movement that has ever transformed the world started with someone taking action before they felt fully prepared. The people who build the future understand that progress is made in motion. Waiting leads to stagnation. Action leads to opportunity. When you start moving, you discover things you never would have found if you had stayed still. You meet people who help you grow. You learn lessons that only experience can teach. You develop skills that only come from doing, not just thinking. The future isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create through your choices, your actions, and your relentless pursuit of what you believe in. Every single person who has ever changed the world started exactly where you are now, uncertain, unprepared, and full of questions. The only difference is that they took the first step. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They started, and they kept going. The future is built by those who refuse to wait, and instead choose to create. Everything that exists today was once just an idea. Every innovation, every company, every piece of technology, every movement that has ever changed the world began as a thought in someone's mind before it became real. The ability to see something before it exists is what separates those who create the future from those who simply experience it. Visionaries don't wait for proof. They don't need validation from the world before they believe in their ideas. They trust what they see in their minds and take action long before anyone else understands it. Steve Jobs believed in the personal computer before the world did. He saw a future where technology wasn't just for businesses or universities, but for every individual. At a time when computers were seen as complicated and unapproachable, he imagined a world where they were beautifully designed, easy to use, and an essential part of daily life. There was no proof that this future was possible. No roadmaps, no guarantees. But he believed it before it existed, and because of that belief, he built it. The same can be said for the iPhone. Before it was launched, people didn't think they needed a touchscreen device that combined a phone, music player, and internet browser. Jobs saw it before anyone else did, and he made it a reality. The ability to believe before something exists isn't just reserved for technology pioneers or business moguls. It applies to every aspect of life. Every dream, every goal, every aspiration you have will first exist as an idea in your mind before it becomes real. The challenge is that most people don't trust their vision. They look around for proof. They seek validation from others. They want reassurance that their idea will work before they take action. But the world doesn't work that way. The greatest achievements in history were built by people who acted on their vision long before anyone else believed in them. When Elon Musk started SpaceX, people thought he was crazy. The idea of a private company launching rockets and competing with NASA seemed impossible. But he believed in it before there was any evidence that it could succeed. He saw a future where space travel was more affordable, where humans could reach Mars, where innovation wasn't limited by government agencies. And because he believed in that future, he worked relentlessly to build it. Now, SpaceX is revolutionizing space travel, not because the world told Musk it was possible, but because he trusted his own vision when no one else did. This applies to every entrepreneur, every artist, every athlete, every person who has ever dared to do something new. When Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, there was no external proof that he would become one of the greatest players of all time. But he believed in his potential before anyone else saw it, and that belief fueled his relentless work ethic. When J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers, there was no evidence that Harry Potter would become a global phenomenon, but she believed in the story she had created, and she kept pushing forward. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for permission to believe in themselves. They wait for someone else to validate their ideas. They wait for proof that their dreams are possible. But every great achievement in history has been built by those who didn't wait for permission. They trusted their vision before there was proof, and they acted with conviction even when no one else understood. Belief isn't about seeing what already exists, it's about seeing what could be. It's about trusting yourself enough to pursue something before there's any guarantee of success. Most people only believe in things after they become obvious, but by then, it's too late. The people who change the world are the ones who believe first and act boldly, long before the rest of the world catches up. The world rewards those who take risks. Every great achievement, every innovation, every breakthrough has come from someone who was willing to step into the unknown, without a guarantee of success. The difference between those who shape the future and those who remain stuck in the past is simple. Some people wait for certainty, while others move forward despite uncertainty. Playing it safe may keep you comfortable, but it will never lead to greatness. Risk is the price of progress. Without it, nothing new is ever created. When Steve Jobs decided to launch the Macintosh, there was no certainty that it would succeed. At the time, personal computers were still a new concept, and many people doubted that Apple could make a dent in the industry. But he took the risk anyway, because he believed in the product. When he introduced the iPod, there was no proof that people would want to carry 1,000 songs in their pocket. When he unveiled the iPhone, critics said it would fail against established phone manufacturers. But every time he took the leap, he understood that waiting for the perfect moment meant waiting forever. He knew that in order to create something revolutionary, he had to step forward before the rest of the world caught up. History is built by those who take chances. The Wright brothers didn't know for sure that human flight was possible, but they risked failure, ridicule, and even their own safety to try. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before perfecting the light bulb, but he saw each failure as a step toward success. If they had waited for certainty, the world would still be in the dark. Most people let fear hold them back. They wait for a sign that guarantees success before they act. They overthink, analyze, and hesitate, hoping to avoid failure at all costs. But failure is not the enemy, and action is. Every successful person has faced doubt, setbacks, and rejection. The difference is that they moved forward anyway. They understood that taking risks isn't about recklessness. It's about having the courage to try even when you don't have all the answers. Entrepreneurs who change industries don't do it by playing it safe. Athletes who break records don't do it by staying within their comfort zones. Artists who create masterpieces don't do it by following the rules. The world doesn't remember the people who took the easy road, it remembers those who took the hard one. The ones who embraced uncertainty, who bet on themselves, who stepped into the unknown with the belief that they would find a way forward. Risk-taking isn't about being fearless, it's about acting despite fear. It's about making a move even when the outcome is uncertain. The first step is always the hardest, but once you take it, momentum builds. One step leads to another, and soon what once seemed impossible becomes reality. People who change the world don't have special advantages. They aren't luckier or smarter than everyone else. What sets them apart is their willingness to step forward when others hesitate. They don't let fear dictate their choices. They don't wait for permission. They take action, learn from failure, and adjust as they go. Every major success story begins with a risk. The risk of starting a business that might fail. The risk of sharing an idea that might be rejected. The risk of taking a leap before knowing exactly where you will land. Those who refuse to take risks will always be at the mercy of those who do. The future belongs to those who are willing to step into the unknown and trust that they will figure it out along the way. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of it. Every person who has ever accomplished something great has faced setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to failure. Some see it as the end, a sign that they weren't meant to achieve their dreams. Others see it as a lesson, a necessary step toward growth and mastery. The truth is, failure is a test. It is life's way of asking how badly you want something. If you give up when things get tough, then you never really wanted it in the first place. But if you use failure as fuel, if you learn from it, adapt, and keep moving forward, nothing can stop you. Steve Jobs himself faced failure on a massive scale. He was fired from the company he co-founded, humiliated, and forced to start over. He could have let that moment define him. He could have accepted defeat and walked away from the industry. Instead, he built NXT and Pixar, companies that pushed innovation forward. Years later, Apple brought him back, and the company that had once rejected him became the platform for his greatest achievements, the iMac, iPod, iPhone, and iPad. He didn't let failure break him. He let it make him stronger. The world is filled with similar stories. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because he was told he lacked imagination. His first business venture failed, and he went bankrupt. But he refused to let failure define him. He kept creating, kept pushing forward, and built one of the most successful entertainment empires in history. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school team. Instead of quitting, he used that failure as motivation, working harder than ever until he became legendary. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers. The list goes on and on. Most people fear failure so much that they never take risks. They stay in their comfort zones, avoiding challenges because they don't want it to experience rejection or disappointment. But by avoiding failure, they also avoid success. They never give themselves a chance to grow, to improve, to reach their full potential. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who embrace failure as part of the journey. They understand that every setback carries a lesson, every rejection is a redirection, and every mistake is an opportunity to improve. The mindset shift is simple but powerful. Instead of seeing failure as a stop sign, see it as a stepping stone. When something doesn't work out, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of dwelling on mistakes, focus on how to adjust and try again. Resilience is what separates those who make it from those who don't. The road to success is never a straight line. It is filled with twists, turns, and roadblocks. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fall, they are the ones who always get back up. The greatest breakthroughs in history happen because someone refused to let failure define them. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is the mindset of a winner. The people who change the world are the ones who keep going when others stop. They take every failure as feedback. Every challenge is training, and every loss is preparation for the victory that lies ahead. Your life is your story, and you are the only one who should be holding the pen. Too many people let others dictate their path: parents, teachers, society, expectations. They live according to rules they never agreed to, chasing goals they never truly wanted, following a script that was written for them instead of by them. The danger in this is that one day they wake up and realize they never lived for themselves. They played it safe, did what was expected, and now they are left wondering what could have been. The greatest tragedy is not failure but regret. The regret of never having taken control of your own destiny. Steve Jobs understood this better than most. He knew that time was limited, and that made the choice simple: live on your own terms or live according to someone else's plan. He famously said in his Stanford speech, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." This is the key to creating something meaningful. The people who make an impact on the world are not the ones who follow the crowd. They are the ones who step away from it, who trust their instincts, who build their own path, even when it's difficult. Society has a way of pressuring people to fit in. From a young age, people are told what they should do, what they should want, and who they should become. Go to school, get a job, follow the path that is already laid out. But the ones who achieve greatness are the ones who break away from the mold. Every innovator, every artist, every leader who has ever changed the world did so by refusing to let others write their story. When Elon Musk dropped out of his PhD program, people thought he was making a mistake. When Jeff Bezos left a stable, high-paying Wall Street job to start Amazon in his garage, people thought he was crazy. When Oprah Winfrey refused to conform to traditional broadcasting rules and created her own brand, she changed the industry forever. None of these people let someone else define what was possible for them. They took control of their own narrative and wrote a story that had never been written before. The reality is that living on your own terms is not easy. It means making hard choices, disappointing people, and going against the grain. It means trusting yourself when others doubt you. It means having the courage to chase your dreams, even when the world tells you they are impossible. Most people give up because the pressure to conform is too strong. They choose comfort over risk, safety over passion, stability over the pursuit of something bigger. But the ones who refuse to settle are the ones who create something extraordinary. At some point, everyone has a moment of realization. Either they are in control of their life or someone else is. If you let fear, doubt, or the opinions of others decide your future, then your story is not your own. But the moment you take responsibility for your dreams, your choices, and your direction, everything changes. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who were given a perfect path, they are the ones who carved their own. No one will come and hand you the life you want. No one will write your story for you in a way that truly fulfills you. If you want something, you have to take control. You have to make the choices that align with your vision. You have to stop waiting for permission and start living for yourself. The world belongs to those who dare to write their own story, who refuse to settle for anything less than what they know they are capable of achieving. The most impactful people in the world are not those who simply chase success for the sake of personal gain. They are the ones who build something that matters. They are the ones who create with purpose, who solve real problems, who leave the world better than they found it. The difference between temporary success and lasting impact is the intention behind what you create. Anyone can make money, achieve fame, or gain recognition, but true fulfillment comes from knowing that your work has meaning beyond yourself. Steve Jobs didn't just build Apple to sell computers, he wanted to revolutionize the way people interacted with technology. He cared about the experience, the design, the impact on creativity and communication. He understood that technology wasn't just about function, but about human connection, about making life better. When he introduced the iPod, it wasn't just about selling a music device, it was about giving people 1,000 songs in their pocket. When he introduced the iPhone, it wasn't just about making calls, it was about putting the world at people's fingertips. The reason Apple became more than just a company was because it stood for something greater than just profit. It was about innovation, simplicity, and pushing humanity forward. Every great invention, every major breakthrough, every lasting legacy comes from someone who wasn't just thinking about what they could get, but about what they could give. Elon Musk isn't just building Tesla to sell cars, he's working to redefine energy and transportation. SpaceX isn't just about rockets, it's about making space travel possible for future generations. Jeff Bezos didn't just start Amazon to sell books, he built a system that would change how people access goods and services worldwide. The people who make the biggest impact are the ones who think beyond themselves, who create solutions that improve lives, who focus on building something that will outlast them. Most people chase success without asking themselves why. They want money, status, recognition, but they don't stop to consider what their work will mean in the long run. The problem with this approach is that success without purpose is empty. No matter how much you achieve, if it doesn't make a difference, it won't fulfill you. The most successful people are the ones who align their work with a greater mission. They find something they truly believe in, something that excites them, something that contributes to the world in a meaningful way. Building something that matters requires vision. It requires looking beyond immediate results and thinking about long-term impact. It means asking bigger questions. What problem am I solving? How am I improving the world? What legacy will I leave behind? The people who create lasting change don't focus on short-term gains. They focus on building something that will stand the test of time. They are not afraid to take risks, to challenge the status quo, to dedicate themselves fully to a cause they believe in. The key to greatness is not just working hard, but working on something worth building. Passion alone is not enough. It must be combined with purpose. The best companies, the best inventions, the best ideas come from people who are deeply committed to making an impact. They wake up every day not just thinking about success, but about significance. They don't just measure their achievements by numbers, but by the difference they make in people's lives. The world doesn't need more people who are just chasing money. It needs people who are building something meaningful. It needs innovators, creators, and leaders who are willing to dedicate themselves to solving problems, improving lives, and pushing humanity forward. The most valuable thing you can do is to build something that matters, something that outlives you, something that leaves a mark, something that truly changes the world.